the program. So basically, as you said, I'm sorry for there is a background noise that's what's causing this distortion. So basically, we are talking about foundation of communication, a foundation of effective communication, and we are talking about communication. We have to bring it practical. We have to do the practical aspect. So in everything I'm trying to say is that this section will be more of interactive section. That is, we'll be coming together to learn and then share our experiences and how communication is the basic for getting opportunity. That's my what I say narrowing the topic down to getting opportunity. So basically, foundation of effective communication is to an end that you get a result. Is to get a result. So I'm like streamlining it to that it's a bridge. Communication, effective communication is a bridge between competency and opportunity. So like it's a like say a chain that connects how good you are, or it's a chain that shows the visibility of how good you are and what prepare you to get the opportunity. I don't know. Sorry for this topic. Omega, like, have you checked them? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Hello, I want to be sure if I'm right. All right, all right, all right. Since we don't have the slide with us, so let's just go without the slide there. So first of all, what I first just want us to like look at the slide then we can more of like because everything is well visualized on the slide. So regardless, we'll do it without the slide. So on my first slide here, I have just an introduction of what was the topic, effective communication. So we'll be having, as I said, to be an interactive section, whereas we have um, we'll be sharing our experiences. So so as I said earlier, the topic is effective communication, foundation of effective communication, and and as I said earlier, that what makes you visible, what makes you visible is how you communicate your competency, and that's how people will see you before you being accepted. Before you being accepted. So I like to throw out a question, and as I said, to be very interactive. Have it occurred to you that most people that are not competent mostly get how will I put it, get job, get opportunities? Have you like experienced that before? I mean, people you know that you are far better off. You are far better off. But I mean, in terms of, I mean, your particular job, probably you are a data analyst, you are an engineer, you whatsoever. Have you ever come across someone that has was not good enough, but got opportunity more than you? Have you ever? I'm just doing it to signify. All right. I'm sorry if I don't know if I can just summarize it as Amara, right? Is it Uche? Yes, Uche, please. Can you just unmute your mic and just like share us your experience? So before we move forward, as I said, to be very interactive section.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Uche.
From my own point of view or from my own opinion, I think I've experienced it in I've not experienced it in terms of getting job, but in terms of, let me say, in a classroom, giving an opinion or what you know about a particular topic. That's where I've experienced such.
All right. Okay, that's really amazing. That's Hello, can you hear me? I just want to be
Yes,
sure.
I can hear you.
Uh, okay, that's real. That's a good scenario. I don't know if someone else has another thing to say before I respond to what Uche said. Do anybody have rather? All right. So as Uche rightly said, like an instance where you probably ask someone asks questions or someone is being inquisitive in class, asks questions often in classes. That kind of person tends to get will I say visible, like most the public lecturer will pay attention to that kind of person. Yes, yes, that's the truth. So what communication does is that it makes you visible, even though you don't have anything else there. But it's just like you like packaging. Do you get packaging? But the first thing is competency. No, for everyone that wants anything, you have to what? You have to prepare for it. That's true. That's amazing. Yeah, that's like the first step. But what will make you get accepted or make people understand that you understand this thing? It is through communication, and that's what we'll be talking about today, throughout today. Throughout today, today in this meeting rather. So I started with a conversation as I asked Uche that has there been a time that someone got opportunity? Let me give you an instance. Let's say you are in a meeting. Now this we've already started already, and I believe that we'll continue. I believe we'll we'll say our opinion because that's how we know. That's how we communicate. So like in a meeting now, and there are two sets of individuals and I want you guys to respond. Like, what would be the response? So there's this first person. This first person comes to the meeting, just nods head. I mean, this first person is good. Let's say, an instance, a data analyst. He understand how to use Excel, how to use Python, how to use Power BI. I don't know if you know anything about data analyst, but just say he's very competent. Sorry for that. Very, very competent in what he does. But guess what? In a meeting, was just what nodding head, didn't see anything, didn't ask any question, and after the end of the meeting, he was the first to leave. The kind of meeting with that. And let me talk about the second person. Now, the second person might not be too good, but you know what he's doing because before he could communicate, but he's not that perfect though. So he asks question. Okay, why do you think this is the right thing to do? Why must this be the best decision to make? From that he's even learning from what he does not know, and with that it makes him more what. Let me ask, which person will you pay attention to? Which person will you find visible? Is it the person that just didn't contribute and even the first person to leave, or the person that asks several questions and even answer some questions? Which of which of these two will you what, as a CEO, will you able to give job, and like will you like really want to give out job to? I would like to hear your opinion. I would like to hear from Esther, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Esther.
So, from the scenario you mentioned, I would, if I was the CEO, if I were to be the CEO, I would prefer to give the job to the person that was more interactive or the person that was answering questions and asking questions because it shows that the person is ready to learn. And even if the person does not know much about it, about the job for that time, it shows that the person is ready to learn and is going to um understand the job more. So
All
yeah.
right, all right, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. Can we just say put it like a clapping emoji for Esther, please? A clapping emoji for Esther, please. All right, thank you so much. So that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Do you have any other person? Amara, Amara, please. Am I correct? I just want us this to be more interactive. Okay, so as Esther has rightly said, as Esther has rightly said, as a person, Esther said, the person is what the other person. I mean, the second person applicant is teachable because he's willing to learn and he's even voicing out that, oh, this social thing, how do you go about this? Yeah, so this will now lead me to a chain. I have a chain. I don't know if you could just write it down. That when you are in a meeting, there are three important things in order to make you stand out. I highlighted. If that the slide was there, we would have seen it clearly. First of all, ensure you see what you should be seen. Be seen. What do I mean by be seen? Like example, I make mention now. The other second applicant, what he did was that what he asked a question. So if though there are 100 people there, first of all, he will introduce himself with his name. So let's say I am Bayo. So there will know everybody in that meeting knows there is a Bayo in that meeting, no matter how much. Yeah. Okay, someone asked a question and his name was Bayo. So when you communicate, when you say communicate, it means talk, right? Communicate. When you communicate, you make yourself seen and other people, even the way you talk, people other in that kind of meeting there are other investors. Let's say an instance like a board meeting, there are other investors there too looking into you and want to snatch you away from the company. That's another thing entirely. So that's not even my point. So you have to be what in order to be seen, you have to communicate. You have to communicate. You have to really communicate. And that leads me to my second point. From being seen to being understood. From being seen to being understood. To being understood. So what does it mean to be to being understood? Understood means that you are not just saying that, okay, everyone has known me. I asked a question. What kind of question am I asking? Is it that I'm saying, okay, I am Bayo? I don't know why I'm using this analysis. Okay, Uche said she's a pharmacy student, right? I, don't- I'm an engineering student, so I don't know much about medical line. But that aside, so let's say an instance, the person, I say I'm using Bio for an instance now, and Bio comes up and was like, and he's into the lines of, let's say, banking and finance, and the meeting is based on, you know, remember though the scenario that occurred yesterday that was, I don't know, you can just signify that this is just by the way that was causing because of the UBA CEO and then the graduate intent. You can just signify if you you had about because it was viral, so I believe everyone saw that. Can just like do a thumb up on the rest to just signify. So that is also a means of communication because I will go back to that. We'll use that as a content like a bit. So as I was saying, if Bayo does not read the room, what exactly are they doing in that meeting? What what idea am I pitching to these people so that they can understand? What am I bringing to like? What is the meeting all about in the first place? Okay, it's a business meeting. They talk banking and finance. I cannot just be saying something totally different. Okay, I'm talking about movies. Movies in a business setting does not make sense. Like, do you get my point? Okay, so it does not make sense. I guess Emeka is helping us out with this slide. So it does not make sense. So you have to like make ensure that you are what you're understood. Ensure that you're understood in the sense that first of all, what is the meeting I'm currently in? Who am I? Who am I? What meeting am I? Like what setting do I find myself? then you can now what pitch the idea because you yourself understand the setting, you will understand yourself, and then you now bring up questions. So there's a way that you ask a question, you can sound foolish, yes, and mind you, your question might even be correct, but it's used in the wrong place. So now that the second part, okay, we are in the second slide. Thank you so much, Emeka. So yeah, so I was saying that the scene, and now we are currently at what be understood. So as I was saying, I don't know if it can be zoomed more that clear, kind of blurry, but regardless. So I've lost my train of thought. But let's go back. So I was what at bio, right? I was talking about bio. So I said you have to like understand yourself, understand the setting. Like the woman in that meeting, I don't know if you know the meeting. Let me just be sure so that I will not be saying some things off the rate. Esther, are you conversant about the story?
No, sir, I'm not.
No. Oh no. I don't know. You know Tony Elumelu, right?
No, sir.
No, all right, no problem. So Tony Elumelu is the CEO of UBA Bank, but you are aware of UBA Bank, right?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So UBA Bank they have a bunch of graduate interns, like a freshly graduate student. We apply for the program. I believe it's a 1 year program. So I guess it was their graduation day, and the lady wanted to ask a question from the CEO, and she approached him with his first name, said Tony. So he was like Tony. And this man is a Igbo man. First of all, he's a cultured person, and just like that. And it's not wrong. UBA policy is that you can use your first name because in the Western world, you use our first name. Do you get like in the business class, like the Western world, we use our first name. But we are in Nigeria. And mind you, is your CEO. At least at little, you can just say Mr. Elumelu or Mr. Tony. We'll just call him Tony. Good afternoon. So he pissed the man over. Like he's not pissed enough. He corrected him. So you cannot address me as Tony, or rather you call me Mr. Tony. Just that by the way. So I'm trying to say that the lady should have read the room. There are other people who have already asked questions, and she should have looked at how these people ask their question. They mention his first name or they mention it with respect. So that's the thing. No matter how idea you have to first understand the setting, and then bring it after you understand, then I'll find a way of understanding yourself and then bringing it out. So now, what in summary, what I'm saying, to get understood, you don't use some certain things. Also, you don't need to use generic things. You need to be very specific, very specific, very specific. Let's say an instance, Esther, are you currently in school or like you're done with school now?
I'm in school, sir,
Like which
for
course?
peace and conflict studies.
Peace
And conflict studies.
and conflict study. Okay, I don't know much about that, but I believe that, let's say an instance, Esther, peace and conflict study. If you want to
Yes,
introduce yourself, you like you say that I am a passionate peace and conflict student. I am very hardworking. I am I attend all classes. I do this. I do that. I do that. With that kind of like an interviewer, will it take you serious?
no, sir.
So what I'm trying to say is this: in order to get understood, you have to be very specific. Okay, under peace and conflict, I believe there are what there are different. How will I put it now? Different branches that you have to like specify as specialized on. Probably peace or conflict. I don't know. I don't know much about it. Probably you are going to do masters, right? You are still going to narrow it down. There's some certain things you are going to still fall back to. So instead of just saying generic things, like okay, they introduce yourself. And after saying I'm a I'm an intelligent person. I'm a passionate student. I'm a intelligent person, very hardworking. Everybody is hardworking. What can you offer us? After you understand, then you need to be specific. Let them understand who you are. Then you don't use specific, you don't use generic word, you use specific word. Who exactly are you? Let's understand, let me use myself. I'm an industrial and production engineering student. But I cannot just say I'm an industrial and production engineering student. What exactly am I specializing on? Specializing on what we call operation research or industrial engineer. Industrial engineer is more wide. Specifically, I'm going into the supply chain industry. Under supply chain industry, we still have some. I'm just trying to say that you should narrow it down. To narrow it down to the barest minimum, minimum, so that they can what they can understand. Okay, this person is the best person for this job. So we started from being seen. You have to what like ask questions on this. This is actually this is the core of all what we are saying in this meeting. I've already like summarized everything already. So then I will start mentioning some certain things. So because we have limited time. So I started with being seen, then being understood, then finally the last part, still waiting for the slide, is be remembered. Be remembered. So you cannot just the goal of communication is that you receive a response, not just that you communicate. You know, the person is not how do I put it now? It's not there. That means if it does not respond, that means the way you communicate it was wrong. The way you communicated it was wrong. So that's what will lead me to what to this last to the last part, which is what be remembered, be remembered, be remembered. And how do we explain be remembered? You say some. I'm now imagining it for to be understood. You say some specific. Sorry about that. You say some specific things. And I told you about what reading the room. You say some specific things that are in line with what is the room is like. Read the room, understand the system of the room, like where you are. And when I mean the room, like public conference or having an interview or something. There's some non-verbal. We are speaking of which there. There's some non-verbal communication that are very important. It's not everything that is about verbal. We are still going to touch about these things. So being remembered is the most important thing because they are the one reaching back. Remember this guy who mentioned that he's an operation research analyst. Remember this lady that she's a what? She studied peace and conflict study. Like she said some certain things that resonate with us. That means you say some certain things that what that allow them give to you. So that's how powerful communication is. There's a way you communicate, people will remember you, and then you get that. That's how people get what. That's how people get opportunity. That's how get the opportunity. So so this is just like the like I say the I'll just say the summary, the overhead of everything we are going to talk about. So can someone just like believe that everyone is listening? Can someone just like briefly summarize what I just said before we can move on so that we can be fast. We are already running out of time. Uche, you are welcome back. I don't know if you get so for the sake of Uche now that just joined back now. Esther, can you just do a recap just in 30 seconds?
Okay, so you said I want to explain the part where you said we should be understood, and you said um we should be whenever we want to like when we're in a meeting, we should be very specific about what maybe it's like a business meeting. We should be specific about what we want to offer to them rather than just saying things that does not resonate with them or what they don't care about. If you want to introduce yourself, you make it short and then go straight to the point. Tell them what you want to do for them. So that way they can you could be the best person, or they could, if you want, if there's supposed to be an opportunity for you, could be the best person that will get that opportunity. Yes. And you also say we should um, be remembered too. There are certain things that you can say that will make them, that they remember you, that oh, this person said this thing, that this person said this thing, this specific thing that nobody said in the meeting, that can make them also give you, also make you, you also be remembered by that too. I
All
don't know
right,
if you
thank you.
understand. Okay, sir.
All right, all right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was well summarized. I hope I hope Uche was able to get one or two things. Is Uche on the call? All right, I believe she's. All right, all right, all right. So let's just continue. Thank you so much, Esther. So we have limited time. I have limited time. Like I said, what I just said, I've cut across whatever things I'm saying in all the slides, whatever things I'm saying in all the slides. This is just like more of like a summary. I just like give total summary. So if we are with our slide, we're in the third slide, and I'm not with my slide correctly, and I just my notes here with me. So just please bear with me. So everything I'm saying, I'm just saying without my slides. I'm not with my system. Sorry about that. Yeah. So we're talking about where now we're talking about be remembered. Be remembered is that how do you get remembered is being from what you said. There are some certain things you said that resonate with the either the interviewer or like say gathering where you were. So there's some specific or there's no in I don't know who's into web design or web development. There's sometimes particular thing they call research keywords. There are some keywords you will say that will resonate. That's why more reason why, as I said, more reason why you have to like do a background checkup of whatever things you are doing, or whatever interview, or whatever things, or whatever opportunity you want to get. You have to do a background check, and then after the background check, then find the connection between you and the background check, and then be specific, and then like be specific and the rest like that. So with that, there are some certain things they want to hear, and that thing they used to remember you. They used to remember you. So there are a lot of there's a lot of people you can listen to. Just like I'll just mention a few people you could listen to that could explain how you want to communicate. So the next slide you was talking about, it was just showing a chart, showing a three-dimension chart, a three-dimension chart. The slide says, let me read it directly from here. Let me read it directly from here. All right. I'm sorry. I'm trying to navigate. I'm trying to navigate this. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. So I'm trying to navigate just in 30 seconds, please. I've been saying everything without my slide, so I need to go back to that third slide of your. Okay, so yeah, I'm with the slide now. So yeah, so we have a chart here. We have a chart, a three, yeah, like a pie chart. I will send the slides to Emeka so that you guys can pinpoint whatever things I'm saying and go back to it and rest like that. So I mentioned some three things here, and this stands to be corrected. This is a this is a about classic communication impact study, and it has a how do I put it now, in a pie chart. We have different. It's divided. This one is just divided into three parts. We have 55% goes to the body language, uh, 38% goes to the tone of your voice, and 7% goes to your words. 7% goes to your words. So what I'm even saying is that your verbal would, according to this, although this stands to be corrected, like this stands to be, how do I put it now? This stands to be, it stands to be criticized, but it was universally accepted at some point. It was universally accepted. So, in short, what it's trying to say is that Your verbal communication, verbal, when I say verbal communication, that is your spoken words, is just, let's say, let me be realistic to some extent. Maybe 20% of your communication, your know your what, your body language matters. Your body language matters. Your body language matters. Your tone matters. Let's say the person that is talking, that I want to ask a question, is shivering without words. Will the person, he or she words be articulated? No, because the mannerism, he or she passes the word, the information. So it's not about you just standing up and saying, I want to speak. But the way you spoke also matters. The way you the way you respect someone. In my dialect, I'm a Yoruba boy, so in my dialect, they say there's a way you say sorry. They say there's a way you say sorry. There's a way you say sorry that is offensive, and they say the way you say sorry, that is what you are, what you are genuinely sorry. I'm trying to say that there's a way you speak that it has context. The spoken words are just a part in communication. Non-verbal communication is also a major part in also what in communication. Your mannerism. Are you speaking, or you are talking and you are stammering, or you are speaking, you are shaking, or you're not articulate, your words are not articulated. So these are the things you have to consider. These are the things you have to consider. That's not just about speaking. When I'll be recommending some books to read. I'll be recommending some books to read. This will really help, both non-verbal and verbal. Do you get? Because most of the time people, there's a way that you use your hands. You use your hands to Your hands is a part of what communication. That when you are trying to explain something, you use your hands to demonstrate some particular thing. You know what it does? It catch the attention of the audience, and it does not make your words become boring. So it's like a means of attention. Do you get? So that they are active. They are looking at your hands. So these are the things that are very important. That as little as those things, like I'm speaking, your hands are what? I'm moving. Do you get? It's just a little part. So I don't know if you're with your pens or your, I just mentioned some people that you could listen to, books you could listen to, that also you could read. You could read. And these are the books that really helped me so far. Like in meetings that I'm a kind of person. I had a trauma, and that after that trauma, I decided that I will not be traumatized again. I had a trauma in my GSS two, if I'm not mistaken. Now let me use that to summarize this, and let's go to the next slide. I had a trauma in my GSS two. Uh we three of my guys, we offended a lecturer. I said a lecturer, a student, a teacher, and we are asked to do a debate. That's our punishment. I have never spoke in the public space before. Guess what? I had the best point. I had the best. My points were the best. I can't remember. This kind of um, either education is better than this. I can't remember the topic now. Can't remember the topic, right? So my point was like top note. Like I got it from the best. But guess what? The way I was crying. Like when I look back, I was like, oh god, Ah, the first time I type on stage, the flashback came back. Like it came back to me, but over time I grew over it. But that's not my point. I had the point. I had the best point. From what I was saying, I was crying and I was speaking. But guess what? I took second. There are three people. I said three people. One was very confident and was saying nonsense. Yes, I'm saying he was saying nonsense. But guess what? He took first because they ranked us. He took first. He was saying nonsense. He was not saying the right thing. But he took first because he was confident. I mean, I had my point where like, bro, how did you get this confidence? The third person was neither confident, he was neither saying the point also. So he was took last. Me, I have the full point, but I don't have the what it means to communicate it. So this is a how do you say, this is a if we look at it uh in a very wide perspective now, see that these are how people lose opportunities. You have the potential, you have everything it has. Your dressing is a means of communication, right? As the saying say, the way you dress, that's the way you what you be addressed. That's true. You dress like a fisherman, they will treat you like such. That's another part of what? That's another part of communication. So communication are just is not restricted to words alone. Communication is not restricted to words alone. Your mode of your mannerism matters. It really matters. I was shedding tears. When it's meant to no, that does not count because the point was not what the hard point, but it was pointless because what I was driven by emotions. Most people were not listening to what I'm saying. They were looking at how I was crying. So what's the point? Do you get? So your you might have be competent, but you need to understand communication is powerful to make you visible and allow you to show your competency. Without communication, your competency is just with you. And my that is with you. That's it. Yeah, that's the truth. Because a lot of people have that competency. Yes, a lot. So what makes you different is how you communicate. So communication is not restricted to words alone. It expands to non-verbal communication. So let me I've been speaking a lot. I've spent a lot of time. So I have books I recommend. I read also Super Communicator. Super Communicator. I don't know if it could be. Probably I text it to Emeka and he will send to you the books I recommend. But I rather send it to him because of time. Let me just list them. Super Communicator by Charles Dog A. I don't know if that's correct. How to Win Friends and Influence People. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dave. By Dave. Yeah, I recommend this. How to Win Friends. That's through communication. And last one, like at least because we need to be realistic. The goal is that the thing is what we are the goal of this program is to what equip youth that we be what we stand out. Do you get? So communication is also a very pivotal part of that. So another thing is what talk like TED. I don't know if you come across TED before. Have you come across like what's called TED, TED, TEDx? Have you, like, can you just signify with an emoji? TED. All right.
No, sir.
No, all right. There's no problem. You can just check. It's like a platform. They're like a platform. TED is talking about um entertainment. Yes, entertainment. In short, you are trying to communicate what your niche. You are trying to explain it to people, and you were communicating. So that is a platform for you to learn communication. Because people will explain what they are doing or they are explaining, probably it's motivation. They will come and articulate their words and they will what? They will pass it across accordingly. So TED, TED is the best place for you to learn communication. But you can narrow down your I mean there are videos, a lot of videos. Although I still have my criticism though, one of the video I watched that stood out for me say fake it until you make become like it. Fake it until you become like it. Long run when you fake it too much, but it really helps to some extent, some extent, some extent. So I'll be mentioning some videos that are on TED. Yes. First of all, the book, the one of the videos I recommend for you to watch. This is your brain on communication. This is your brain on communication. I will send this because of time. Because of time, I will send this. So I'm already on my fifth slide. I don't know, Emeka, can you go to the fifth slide? Because of time, just is it possible go to the fifth slide? All right. While we are waiting for Mika, so this on my fifth slide now, um I have a bone. I still have a chain here from from like there's a chain here that I need to explain. So we stopped at, who can remember where we stopped? So that we can yeah, I want to hear from Uche. Uche, can I hear from you?
It stopped at books to read for to learn communication.
Uh all right. But what about um the last part I made mention? I mean, what was that? I just wanted to be sure that it connected or
I think
something.
feedback or something. So
All right. So I just concluded on saying that spoken words are just a part of communication. They are not the major part. They have different parts. Non-verbal communication also matters. So that's just like summary of what of what I said there. So let's go to the fifth slide now. So we have, sorry about the slide of the thing. So we have explained, we have, when you want to communicate, there's an idea you want to try to communicate, and there's a way that, I was saying something initially for the first slide. I was saying this from the first or second slide now, that before you are in a meeting, you have to read the room, understand the setting of the meeting, then you cannot come up with an idea that's in line with the meeting setting. So the first thing you come up with is what is an idea. You cannot just come up and start speaking, saying something without thinking about it. You will what? You will say nonsense. That's the truth. You say what? You say nonsense. So you first of all form an idea. That's what you think. Then you shape it into a message. You choose and channel it to send through the other person, and the other person interpret it and then give you a response. The real outcome comes when you respond. So what I'm trying to say in summary, what I'm saying here is that your ideas, your idea has a channel that is being passed through. How did you use the channel? Did you use it? Did you use it? The combination of your verbal and non-verbal communication. How was it? And the person you are communicating to, did he or she understand what you were saying? There's a way you pass a message, the person will get the wrong message. Have you had that scenario before? That you're saying something, someone is getting another thing you are saying. Like, I don't know. In an example, have you like can you just use a thumb up or something? Like, you're trying to tell someone, explain something to someone, and someone is getting it in a wrong, is getting the wrong idea. Exactly. So the way you have to be sure the person you are talking to understand what you are saying. Like, so we are on the same page. Like, we are on the same page. We are saying the same thing. I'm communicating the same thing. You understand what I'm saying. And then he responds. His response is in line with what you've communicated. Do you get? So starts from idea to the channel, how you communicate it, both verbal and non-verbal communication. And then the person that received the information, did he understand the information? And finally, there's a response. That response shows if the person understands you or not, or not. Because I now take an example, and I wrote down an example now, that because a great idea sent through the wrong channel or interpreted differently than intended we produce the wrong communication being passed across as a bad idea. So this is what I'm trying to say, and I believe we can relate to it. I don't want to use uh, I don't want to use something else. Let's say an instance. Let me use a mail for an instance. You want to send a mail to a company, and you are sure that the company are not heavy on they don't use mail. They want physical, how do I call it, physical registration and rest, like you have to submit your things physically. and you've prepared everything, well detailed, everything. I'm this non-verbal now. I'm trying to explain the chain. And you send your mail through their mail. You are saying you send your message through their email. Probably it's just there for a show. And they specifically said on their website that you have to submit it physically with your message. I be your mail, your message you're trying to pass across. When it gets to them, they will consider you because they've given you what right channels to pass through so that you can submit your what probably your CV, your resume or whatsoever. So I'm trying to say that good idea passing through the wrong channel can be misinterpreted. Bad idea, that's the one as pointed. Passing through the right channel can be will be what will be also be misinterpreted. I'm trying to say that this channel, I'm trying to say you must have a good idea. That is, you have to think properly before speaking. Understand what you are trying to communicate. I know we started with what reading the room, then understanding the settings you are, then able to what come up with the idea, resonating with what they are saying, and then pass it through the right channel. Channel in the sense that your composure, your both verbal and non-verbal, the way you speak confidently, and then to the people, if they understand what you are saying, be sure. How are you sure that what you are saying they understand? You ask question. Or like, do you care what I'm trying to you understand? So you'll be sure that they get what you are trying to say. So you don't have what you don't get they don't misunderstand you. So it's a sequence that none of it needs to break. That is none of it needs to break. If any is broken, the message is being misinterpreted. The message is being misinterpreted. The message is being misinterpreted. So we are short of time. We're really out of time. We didn't start early, so that's one of the things. I will round up with two slides, and then we ask questions, and then we call it a day. Yeah, we call it a day. So basically, we started with now. Now I'm rounding up. Sorry for my lost mind now. So give me 20 seconds. So now we're talking about that there's a sequence, right? I was talking about a sequence that none of it must break for which that you ensure that the communication is passed across, well passed across. Now I was talking about what you asking a question that will lead to them giving a response, right? That's where another point comes out. Listening, listening, listening is very important. Listening is also a part of communication. So say is a what? It's a non-verbal word communication because you're not speaking. It's as if that man might be true. You can check the chart out. He said 15%. Is it 15%? Yeah, 15% or 7%. 7% of where communication. 7% of it is just spoken words. That how good your communication is, your non-verbal, how your composure and your tone while speaking. That's most important. And your spoken words also is very important because you have to articulate your words. Very, very much important. So listening, as I said, the mannerism way how you listen also matters. These are normal courtesies we have in our society. You're having a conversation with someone, and then you're pressing your phone. This is an interview. You're pressing your someone is talking to you. You are pressing your phone. That's that's you might not think it's probably it might be a call. You get it's courtesy that like say, okay, excuse me, can I just it's no wrong, can just take the call later. But some people will still press their phone. It's showing that you are divided and you don't need the you are what you are not interested in what the person is saying. That's another means of communication. That's another means of communication. It's not about you doing the speaking, it's also listening, it's also a part. It's also a part. You are someone is talking to you, you are with your phone 247, glued to your phone. That's just a perspective. That's a perspective. So it cut across all spheres. Communication is not just about words, not just about words. And finally, to round this off, what matters the most is, is that we are what? It's a bridge. Communication is a bridge between your value and the opportunity you're about to get. So how do you get the opportunity? Is through them getting back to you. That is, they understand your value through communication. They understand your value through communication. Then you need to do your homework. How did you do your homework? I'm sorry for using that word. By doing checkup. Some people are very bad at that. Because you are building relationship like that. Yes, that's how relationship began through communication. Can us reach out. One of the ways to disrupt um relationship is non-proper communication, non-proper follow-up. You have to check up. Can I just say, have you sent a mail to a particular company? Hope, can I send a mail, a short mail? Is still expecting, as if hope there is no. Do you get a backup mail just to check them that I'm active? Oh, do you get? So most of the time, communication cuts because that there is no consistent checkup or consistent. Although communication is a two-way thing, yes. But remember, you're not looking for opportunity. I'm trying to say now, you're the one that is doing the checkup, and if it's the other way around, they do that also. And then, if they are reasonable, they will respond. They will respond. They will respond. You know, I have, I have, I have been in a. How will I put it now? I'm opportunity to get a lot of opportunity. Let's say an instance now. The main mention of the Millennium Fellows. I'm privileged to be part of the Millennium Fellow for 2026 to like carry out a project in my school. And how did I get the company? Was I able to get that opportunity? I was not based on qualification. I'm not meant to be shortlisted. But guess what? I am checking on them on their mails. I constantly check their mails. That these are the possibility of my project. How that the impact it will make. I made it to ensure that I made the project looks tangible. Yes, a lot of people who has great mind, great project more than mine. But me, I brought my through communication. I brought my own project. I think it's something big, not something big. Oh. It's something big, yes. Let me not water down my project. Something big. It's about safety. Yes. But what I'm trying to say is that opportunity. There's a way you are given your competency. You can make your how you can increase your level of competency to communication. To communication. And I made there were from the slide, I mentioned some certain people that they use through communication find themselves there. Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs created the iPhone you are using. Yes. Can check your body is late. Steve Jobs. Then we have Julie Sweet and then Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker um is a very known management specialist. He has died also is late. Well, these are the people that they are successful. I'm talking about billionaires. They are successful. But what? They are very intentional about communication. So I'm trying to say that these people who are successful are still very very they take communication serious at their level. How much else? They were looking for opportunity. How much else? So now the door is the ground is open. Like the ground. The door is open. Ask your questions and contribution, suggestion, words. Yeah. Someone raise his hand. Okay,
Yeah,
you can
that's a
unmute.
mistake. That's a mistake.
All right, all right. So does anyone has questions or mind is a communication class, so we have to okay. which has you have the flow too.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this wonderful session. I actually learned a lot of things on effective communication. And I have a question. You said something about um, faking it till you become it or something like that. So I wanted to know, how do you fake communication until you become it, especially if it is something that you're not used to doing. If it's something that you're not used to doing, like if you have not seen an effective communication,
So,
how do you
so
fake it?
can you restructure it? Like I didn't get where the part was the network was bad. Can you like come back? I'm sorry for that.
All right. Okay. I said you made mention of faking your communication until you become it or something of that kind. So I'm asking, how do you fake it? How do you how do you fake effective communication, especially if it's not something that you are used to or you know a lot on? How do you just begin to put it in your environment or where you find yourself? That's all.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. Does anyone want to answer that? I believe Esther. Esther, do you want to answer that?
No, sir.
You can give it a try.
Mm,
All right, all right. So as she said, yeah, that's a very beautiful question. Yes, I really know that. You know, mentioning some certain things that I had a trauma. I was not able to. It's not that I know how to communicate. I used to stammer. It was that bad. The trauma affected me that I had speech impediment, that I couldn't speak properly. Yes, I was traumatized. But what happened was that, first of all, I made a statement that says that you fake it until you make it. First of all, you have to first surround there with your cycle. Your cycle, if first of all your cycle matters. The people you talk to matters. The way the people, if the people you are talking to or the people your environment, like your connection with certain people, that's the level of what that's how we speak. There's no two ways to it. Now that's when exposure comes in. Exposure in the sense that you go extra mile to learn from what other people who are doing well. That's when the books comes in. Okay, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to understand the systems, how to go about this. Then I have books to read. There are books that will explain practical steps. I'm going to give some certain books recommendation to Emeka to send to. I don't know how you will send it across. That you certainly can read. You don't have to. You don't have to be in that space before. The people that are in that space, people that have been there before, are the people that write those books down and say these are the steps, and you can stand out. They already help you out. So it's not an excuse. Do you get? You can actually read. There are videos. There are a lot of videos. There are books you can also read. Do you get? So it is very important because even when you want to give, you want to pitch your business, you want to pitch your business, you have to communicate. You have to use sweet mouth. I don't know. Igbos has the way of putting that sweet mouth. They are very good. I'm sorry. Apologies to the Igbos. I'm very sorry. Oh. Please, that was a joke though. Like there's a way they communicate. And it was it's very sweet. There's a way very amazing. They know how to sweep their way out and they will get that business done. That's communication. That's communication. You don't have to first of all I said we have to read the room. So I believe because of time, I have another meeting actually. Because of time, I believe does that by any chance answer that okay?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Alright, 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 alright. So yeah, because of time I have further engagement too. So yeah. So the goal is not to just listen to this and not taking practical steps. You have to like take practical steps. So I'll be like, I wrote some certain things down. First of all, understand what you are. Who are you? Like, who am I? Let's leave everything. Who am I? What aspect am I going to? In that field, what aspect am I going to? What are the opportunities? Because the goal is to get the opportunities right. What are the opportunities attached to that what that field? That's my field. You have what? You have the luxuries of what? Of you have the internet at your what at your palm. AI has made it easy for you. You can crawl up websites and check out on specific use some certain keywords to get your what your opportunities you want to get. So you get international opportunities, not local opportunities or international ones. I'm trying to say that this is not just a one-time meeting. It's something you should what take, you need to take a practical step to work towards. Understand yourself. What am I aiming at? What are the opportunities am I aiming at? And how do I pitch myself? Then to create structures. Probably these videos I want to watch. I'll be sending recommendations. Don't worry, I'm sending recommendations. Probably videos or books I want to read. I will sharpen the way I pitch myself, my ideas to these people. That's the thing. I've talked to this. I don't know if there are a lot of people that are up there that will look up there. Forgive, please pardon me to say, they don't have much on their head. But the way they sweet talk it, you're like, wow, this person is brilliant. You then get close to them. Jesus. Say, please, I better know that I don't know you. You get it's not that they are good, it's not that they are brilliant. That's the truth. That's the literal truth. There are people that look up to me that much that oh God, calm down. I don't know that much. It's the way I brand myself. You get so it's the way you do yourself that way that you place yourself on the what international criteria and I'm telling you, it is really it will be an amazing thing. So in all, practical steps are needed. Practical steps are really really needed. We don't just stop here. You need to take action. Understand yourself, understand the opportunities surrounding your field, and then work on how to communication now is not communication too is just a way of you sending a mail to a particular company. It's a way to do that also. I'm going to send some books concerning that also. Opportunities, how to apply for some certain things also. That's a means of communication. Okay, I know some certain things. So this brought me to the end of the meeting. So thank you so much for having me. And please
All
have a
right.
lovely
Thank you so much. Let's appreciate our speaker. Let's show him, let's give him a round of applause. Let's celebrate him in the manner we see fit. So, based on what he said, all in all, the summary is just exposure. So, once you find a kind of opportunity to be in the room where people that you want to speak like are in, don't hesitate. Just jump in there and, you know, understand the way they speak, the way they communicate. And from there, you would not know. Like, you will just start getting used to how they are speaking, and all of a sudden, you become confident in all what you are saying. So, thank you so much, Oluwasegun, for that. This is a very fantastic session. And we are running out of time, so I won't really take our time. So I would say that the all resources and the slides also, sorry, I wasn't able to display the slides. My phone was doing it while I was trying to display the slides. So I will send the slides to the group and also the resources he talked about. Once he sends it to me, I'll send it to the group. And I also have the how to influence others. Also, I have that in my disposal, so I can send that to the group. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Hope you have filled the attendance form, and that is a criteria for your certificate because you will have to write your name on the certificate. So try as much as possible to fill the attendance form, and also remember our session tomorrow. Everyone, I would encourage all of us to be there too. That is another inspiring session tomorrow, Saturday by 7 p.m. Please don't be late. We were late today. That's why we ended late. So everyone should be there tomorrow early. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Really do have a very good and pleasant night. Bye.